Shiela, you said it's always a good time to buy. Maybe we should qualify that. Is it a good buy in every segment, or is there a particular segment of the market that's always more attractive than the other segments?
Depending on where you will buy, of course, there are a lot of good opportunities out there. And your budget as well, you have to look at that.
Right.
But look for a motivated seller, definitely.
Okay.
You'll get a good deal if the person is motivated to sell the property. But there will be someone who would always sell at a good price.
Right. Looking at next year, 2023, you said that you were optimistic about the recovery, but maybe we should put a little, some details on that. I mean, how optimistic are you? Are you very optimistic, somewhat optimistic, or a little bit optimistic, given what's going on right now?
Somehow optimistic. I'm following the growth of the Philippine GDP. As shared, the real estate industry follows instantaneously, follows the trajectory of the growth in the Philippine economy. And since the forecast is that we'll be growing at 6.5 to even 7% in the next few years, then that's a good indicator of what's going to happen in the real estate market. Because if you look at the history, which we always look and monitor, in the global financial crisis and the Asian financial crisis, when we look at the rates and the rental and the demand, market went down by, I think, 25% in terms of rental rate, average pricing of property during those crises. But we moved up. So when the economy is doing so well, the real estate market also enjoyed a very good growth in the sector. So it follows. The office market boomed because almost all the companies in the Philippines started to hire people and needed space. Us, we had more money. We bought properties, right? We bought houses. I mean, people invested. A lot of us at some point will buy your own house, your own condo, right? And even the millennials are investing today. So these are all good. I think when the market is doing well, the real estate sector will benefit from that. It always follows the growth.
So it normally follows. It doesn't precede.
It follows.
It follows.
Yes.
Okay.
Because when people have money, the property sector will benefit. People will buy. People will eat out. These restaurants will expand. These call center BPOs or warehouses will grow. There is demand. They would need space.
Right.
So it follows the growth of the country.
You said a couple of things I want to bring up. One is that real estate is finite. The supply is finite. In a sense, that gives me an idea that maybe it's more resilient, right, to all of these things that we're talking about in the economy. And number two, it's always a good time to buy, right? So, but you did say that there are more things that are in demand now. As you said, houses are more in demand relative to condominiums.
Yes.
But is there any other, I suppose, advice you could give to some investors? I remember people saying it's the location.
Yes.
That's easy enough to remember. But is there anything more sophisticated, that we should think about when we're,
aside from the timing also is everything. So location,
but you said,
timing.
Timing is always good. You said that earlier.
The right now is good because we're still in the pandemic and prices of property relatively it's lower compared to, of course, the boom, 2019. So there are good opportunities there. So if you have
buy
cash,
when there's blood in the streets.
Yes. Be greedy when everyone's fearful. So, and as shared, if you have cash, cash is king. So you can offer to buy a property.
So the wrong thing to do now would be to save. That which would be the natural thing to do coming out of the pandemic because there's so much uncertainty. You're saying be bold. Seize the opportunity.
Invest, right? Make your money work for you.
If you have
the resources, the cash and all. And properties shared is always one of the best investments out there, instrument, because land will always be there, right? You can give it to your children. You can build something on it. Make money from the rental income. And then when the land values appreciate over time, you can flip it and sell. So there are so many ways to make money out of the
Right.
property investment.
What are the other practical advice that you would give to, say, friends or maybe when you talk to your children? This is what you remember, so you don't lose your
Passive
inheritance
income,
from
right?
mommy.
We're always investing in the property
Okay.
market, of course. You put where my mouth is.
Okay.
So my money where my mouth is. So we invest in locations that are in areas where developments will happen. You know, you look at all the build projects, and definitely those locations near this projects will boom.
Right.
Land values will
Right.
appreciate, move up in areas where there are a lot of projects being built, like good railways,
Right.
connections.
Right.
So if it's near the CBD or commute is becoming
Right.
less, then that's good.
I see.
Prices of property will move up. So
So
we look at that.
buy where there is development.
Buy where
but
there
some
is,
people are talking
movement.
about maybe investing in farms. I guess when they talk about retirement, right,
Yes.
they want to enjoy the fresh air in
Or
the
the beach
countryside.
house.
Or in the beach house. But, you know, I'm thinking those properties don't earn, right? Because they're
not-
they're for
yeah.
leisure, right? So does that make
Maybe
sense?
that's
only?
their land banking model. I
Okay.
don't know. In the future, that farm will be
I
a
see.
commercial area, and their children will benefit from that, right?
But I was going to ask whether that makes sense only if you have
A lot of cash.
too much cash to
Yes.
to use, so that maybe is
And it's more affordable,
you're
of
not
course.
looking for a quick return
Quick
over there.
return, yeah.
Is that make sense to you?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Just land bank, you know, because you like the area. It's a big chunk of land at the, well, affordable cost compared
Right.
to buying a property in the commercial area where
Right.
prices of properties are
Right.
already high. So that's a good
So
move.
not someone who's looking to
But
make
it's a long-term
return.
play, yeah. It's
Yeah.
not a quick, return.
Right.
So you have
Now-
to wait.
Right. Now, some people, when they look for property, they're sometimes surprised to see that some of the people that they're transacting with don't actually have the titles. They only have
Yes,
the tax declarations. For someone who is not used to investing in property, is that something that they should consider, or what should they look out for?
Well-
what would be the advice you would give to someone who's not normally into investing into property?
They have to do their homework, their
Okay.
due diligence, definitely. There are a lot of fake titles or, fake,
Is that a big problem in the Philippines still?
there are cases like that. But
Because
of course,
my family in the past has had a history
Oh.
of losing property
because of that,
because of fake titles. Unfortunately, we lost the property,
and
but
you were not able to recover.
no. But
that's
I'm surprised to see or hear sometimes that people have similar stories, maybe not to the
Yeah.
same extent
in the
as
provincial areas.
In the provincial areas.
Especially in areas where it's hard to have a title, recorded
Right.
properties.
Right.
So yes, you have to be careful. You have
Okay.
to do your due diligence, check it, verify in the local government. There are a lot of ways to do that. If you can afford, or if you have a good friend, a
Right.
licensed real estate advisor
Go
can help
to you,
Yes,
right?
we can help you. But just do your due diligence before
Right.
you even give a down payment or a
Right.
deposit. There are many ways to check anyway today.
But is that a tax declaration? Is that something I should run away from, or not necessarily?
No, not necessarily.
I
You
should
can
still do my homework.
Yeah, you can still look at that, do your
Okay.
homework, and
So
see
it could
how
be
you
legitimate.
can-
It's
it
just
could
there's some
be,
other reasons why there's no
yes,
title.
And get a title,
Okay.
have a title, the land to have a title, you can do that. But
Okay.
check it. There are ways to check and verify the ownership of land.
Okay, now looking at next year, we're talking about investing, right? What are the things that you're keeping an eye on that you think will impact the demand in property development? What are some of the news items that you're monitoring more closely than others?
The growth in the outsourcing industry.
Okay.
They're the biggest driver
Outsourcing.
of demand right now.
Remittances, is that something that
Of
you're...
course, OFW remittances for those who are in the residential business market,
Okay.
because that affects the demand for housing, condominiums, and of course retail. They're sending money here, so the Filipinos are benefiting from that. They spend it here in the Philippines. So that's one, and so far it's improving year on year. It's growing. The OFW
Okay.
remittances is improving. The Philippine Stock Exchange Index, we monitor, we look at that
Okay.
also. to
So
look
when,
at the
when
confidence.
the stocks now are on decline,
Yes.
so does that mean buy real estate because it's a safer asset class than say equity?
Real
it
estate
depends?
is very safe as
Okay.
shared, so you should have a mix of investment,
Okay.
right? Stocks, real
So
estate.
conservative and risky.
That's true.
Okay.